don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.
Alrighty, crew, let's go. It is Friday. I am Matt Meister. You are on Peaks to Plains Weather 24/7, and this is Mornings with Meister. Thanks for joining me here. Let's get to what I think is the best news of the day before we head into a busy weekend. The Bear Fire, 36 miles off to the northeast of Trinidad, is 60% contained. It hasn't really grown over the last couple of days, and all of the evacuations have been lifted. We have amazing firefighters and first responders here in Colorado, and that is just another example. No structures lost from that thing. Everybody where the fire was in the immediate vicinity of homes is back in there, and that certainly is some good news. I hope you had a really good day yesterday. It was cooler. It was breezy. I got out a much needed night last night, out with some friends at Creek Walk and Nevada and Cheyenne Mountain on the south side of Colorado Springs. They do a concert Thursday nights every other week. The Martini Shot was out there. People might have been having some gummies, I don't know. But it was a great time out there, out with some wonderful friends. It was kind of a bohemian vibe, like kids are out in the creek hanging out, and they just sounded fantastic, as they always do. And that was a much needed night out for me, and I was grateful to have that. I hope you are having a good start to the day. Garrett is checking in early this morning, and he says, I am enjoying the cool morning before the furnace kicks back in the afternoon. And yeah, you are on the right track there, Garrett, because we have a hotter day on the way. First, though, we have to check out what's happening out there this morning. So let's do that here. We start off in Trinidad, where it is 55 degrees. Humidity is down a little bit. We've got a little bit of a north breeze happening compared to this time yesterday. We are cooler in most areas. Yesterday, we had the front moving through. We had 40 mile per hour plus wind gusts, and that was mixing up the atmosphere. This morning, we don't have that. We are behind the front, and temperatures no 60s like we had yesterday. We do have a mixture of 40s and 50s east of the mountains. The warm spot this morning is Ordway on this map at 58. And the cool spots, I told you this yesterday morning, Mary talked about this last night, the big mountain valleys where we are running in the mid 30s this morning. Ooh, a little chilly for some campers out there. Again, Trinidad sitting at 55, pretty comfortable, a little bit warmer than what we have in Pueblo, where the sun is out this morning at Willis Boulevard. It is 50 degrees. The Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs running there as well. You see lots of sunshine out already, and it is going to be a pleasant morning for most areas. But we do have a couple things to talk about here, and we've got some pretty busy weather through the weekend. So I'm going to jump right into our short-term forecast, and I'm just going to roll this right on through the weekend. This is going to take me about 5 or 6 minutes here because there's a lot of detail to talk about. And we are going to change things up from yesterday when we had pretty even temperatures between the mountains and the plains. So our valleys, our mountain slopes, not really feeling the effects of the cold front that came in during the morning, but we sure did over the eastern plains, no doubt about that. And during the afternoon, we had some wind between 20 and 30 miles per hour behind it. Didn't have any storms yesterday, had some clouds that built up over some of the southern mountains, but a lot of sunshine in a lot of areas. And I think it was a pretty refreshing feeling day myself. As we head toward the weekend here, we're going to keep our eyes up to the north. There's an upper level system here that has a cold front with it. That front is going to move into eastern Colorado during the day tomorrow. Ahead of it today, the big weather feature is going to be this lee trough that you see developing here. And that's going to kind of split the viewing area into two. It is going to warm our temperatures back up, back into the mid and upper 90s along the Arkansas River. We're back to around 90 in Colorado Springs. No 70s for us today, so it's a 10-degree bump. I'm talking east of the mountains here. Northeastern Colorado, if you're heading up to Denver, if you're heading toward something for the evening here, it'll be a very toasty late afternoon as we'll be back to around 90. Mountains and valleys, you don't change a lot. I'll point this out to you. Springfield in the southeast corner of the state, only 90 today. And that's because by the afternoon, we end up on the east side of that lee trough. So watch what happens. Through the morning here, the wind's going to pick up over the mountains and valleys, and it'll be out of the west. Notice by 10 o'clock, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Walsenburg toward Ordway, we don't have a lot of wind, whereas east of there, the wind's out of the south. So that's on the east side of the lee trough, and right underneath that lee trough where the cities are and then areas just to the east, we're sitting right under that lee trough, so we don't have much wind. But you get onto the west side of it, and the west wind is picking up. Now, as we head into the afternoon, the lee trough is going to shift to the east a little bit. That'll open the door for the wind to pick up in the cities out of the west here as we head into the early afternoon. And so right where that lee trough is, you see that we are still seeing not much in the way of wind. But you get to the east of it, we have a southerly wind that starts to turn to the southeast a little bit. On that side of the lee trough, we are talking severe storms. On the west side of it, we're talking fire danger. So from 11 o'clock until 8 o'clock, we have a red flag warning up for many mountain locations, the valleys, upper Arkansas River Valley, San Luis Valley, and Fremont County. It's where we have the combination of wind over 25 miles per hour, humidity below 15%, and the fuels have been reported as critical. Doesn't mean there's no fire danger for other areas. It's just where these are kind of on the most extreme levels, so something to be aware of. East of the lee trough, though, with a south wind during the morning, turning southeast in the afternoon, we get the dew point up to around 50 by the time we hit 2 o'clock. And that's where I'm going to start our skycast here in the afternoon. We see some building clouds over the mountains, but I want you to watch from about Trinidad off to the east here around La Junta, over toward Lamar, and then off to the southeast in the afternoon, because where that low-level moisture is, we're going to fire up some storms. And they should develop between 3 and 4 o'clock, and then they'll roll off to the east toward dinner time. And I think by about 7, we get those things into western Kansas. There's enough water that we're concerned about severe storms today. You may have noticed some clouds here, kind of building back to the west over the Palmer Divide. We are picking up on those thunderstorms that develop, enhancing a moisture surge back toward the southern slopes of the Palmer Divide. I'll keep my eye on that this evening, where a storm could go, probably won't, but I'll watch it. In the southeast corner of the state, though, there's a chance of severe storms. It's most likely where that moisture is deepest, from about Kim out toward Lamar and off to the southeast. I'll watch areas just to the northwest of there if storms form in your area. I don't think they'll be severe here. It's a possibility, but it's just more likely after the storms can be around for a while and have more time to use that low-level moisture. Couple threats to talk about. Some large hail to about ping pong ball sized. That's most likely in Baca County. And also those storms could be rotating. Rotating storms, if they root in and are using the moisture from the surface, could produce a tornado. It's an outside possibility today. I think the biggest risk is some downslope or downburst, not downslope, downburst wind between about 60 and 70 miles per hour. And so that's something we will watch as those storms roll off to the east, and is probably our biggest threat today. By the time we hit tomorrow morning, things are quiet. We're in the 40s for the most part over the mountain valleys, so not as chilly as this morning. And we've got 50s and 60s again east of the Rockies and along the interstate, pretty close to where we are today. Saturday is an interesting day because we still have some fire weather concerns as a cold front moves in. So the upper Arkansas River Valley through Fremont County and along the river toward Pueblo is where the biggest risks are tomorrow. And we have fire weather watches that are up in these areas, and they last, as they typically do, from the morning into the early part of the afternoon and the early part of the evening, last until 7 o'clock. But watch what happens Saturday. We get a front to come in from the north. You see that north wind over the plains? Well, by 10 o'clock, the wind's starting to pick up on some of the slope sides, some of the mountain valleys. It's that west wind. That's why we have the high fire danger. But watch this front in the afternoon. This front is a deep front. It pushes into the mountains, and by 6 o'clock is moving through Fremont County towards the upper Arkansas River Valley, toward Buena Vista and Salida. And eventually it gets deep enough Saturday night that it gets over Poncha Pass south of Salida. It gets over La Vida Pass. And I think we get it into the San Luis Valley by Sunday morning. So as the front comes in, where the front arrives first for northeastern Colorado, no 80s tomorrow. Colorado Springs, no 90s tomorrow. We drop about 10. And you see, we struggle to get to 90 in some areas from Pueblo, Canyon City, La Junta. Now, we'll get there because we warm up fast tomorrow morning, but things change with the northeast wind developing during the afternoon and the front coming in. Low-level moisture lags behind this front a little bit. Best chance of a storm during the afternoon tomorrow is going to be down across the southern tier, maybe a gusty-type storm over the mountains. That's through the afternoon into the evening. But watch what happens as we move into early Sunday morning. The front keeps coming in, low-level moisture is coming behind it, and so we may see some showers and perhaps a thunderstorm down across the southern tier into early Sunday morning. We'll watch kind of the Raton Mesa and our mountain communities south of Highway 50 as having the best chance of that. I think when you wake up Sunday, there's quite a bit of cloud cover around, and it is a way different day. 60s and 70s, even for the mountain valleys. Like I said, that front gets into you and we are quite a bit cooler. And so it is going to feel nice if you're not somebody that likes heat. We have low-level moisture around, may have some showers over the southern tier through the morning, but this is a day in northwest flow aloft and behind this front where it says severe weather, where we get showers and thunderstorms to develop over the mountains in the early afternoon. They gradually work off to the southeast with time. So plan on these things for most areas at some point Sunday, except for maybe the southeast corner. Your best chance might be with those morning showers. But in the cities, the eastern mountains during the afternoon and early evening, we're going to watch for showers and thunderstorms, and those things may have some large hail with them. It's a pattern that certainly brings that. So that's the next 3 days. In detail, hopefully it's something you can use to plan. All right, Clinton's checking in this morning, and he says, nice and cool in Chaffee County. Good way to start the weekend. The Collegiate Peaks Stampede Rodeo is this weekend. It's the 105th. That's a lot of tradition right there. We've got some deep tradition in Colorado. Joe's checking in from Bear Trap Ranch. He's at 8,300 feet. This is on kind of the southwest side or south side of Cheyenne Mountain, if I remember right. He's got 39 degrees. And Jose says that he and the wife are taking the kiddo a little vacation to Castle Rock. Do you think you can show the weather there so we can know what to expect? I will talk about the extended forecast here coming up in a little bit, Jose, so stick around for that. First, we got to keep the lights on. You're on Peaks to Plains weather, 24/7 mornings with Meister. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&D Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
For over 20 years, my family, like so many of you, has proudly been part of Broncos country.
Every season, we feel the energy, passion, and commitment that defines this team.
And now we are honored to be the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos.
Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
At Phil Long Ford Motor City, we've been around for 80 years. That's like 560 in dog years.
To say thank you to our loyal customers, it's employee pricing for all. You pay what we pay. Our way of celebrating Colorado's 150th anniversary and America's 250th birthday.
American value for American values. You pay what we pay. Right, boys?
That's right. Only at the original Phil Long Ford store.
If I was going to do something outside over the weekend, there are a couple time frames that I would do it in, probably tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. In fact, I would just pick Saturday as a whole compared to Sunday. Some of us, Sunday morning will be all right, but I think Sunday afternoon might just be a night to be inside, maybe, or a day to be inside, play some games, maybe take a little nap, watch some TV or something, because we're going to have some active weather. So here's the deal. Take you back to 4 o'clock on Sunday with those storms rolling across the region. Again, I think some of these are going to be a little bit strong. We'll watch for some hail. Into Monday morning. Monday's looking a little bit different now. It was kind of looking sort of gray and damp. It might still start that way. The pattern still says watch out for that. Computer models are starting to pull away from it. I'll just at least mention it as a possibility now. And then Monday, I think the best chance of some storms in the afternoon are going to be kind of along and west of I-25. Will probably be quiet out across the plains. These might be strong, something that we'll keep an eye on. They may tend to die out as they move off to the east. So that's something we'll watch. So this change coming in for the weekend being driven by this system that drops in from the northwest flow is a classic hail maker severe weather setup. That's why we'll watch for that on Sunday. And like I said, some of those storms on Monday might be a little bit strong as well. However, persistent northwest flow as we move into next week, I think dries us out with time. We push the low level moisture off to the south. And so we just warm back up here. I think we get pretty toasty on Wednesday in particular. We get a ridge setting up over the western U.S. We'll watch little waves here moving through the flow. If those can bring cold fronts into the area, that usually opens the door for increasing low-level moisture, which I don't see as of now, but we'll watch for it here because it is a pattern into June when you have northwest flow. If you have water around and thunderstorms, you start saying, oh, hey, keep an eye out for that. And we will start to see some moisture work underneath this ridge by the late part of next week. And so we'll put some storms back in the forecast for the mountains. But over the next couple of days, active weather. Again, the cold front comes in tomorrow. So by the afternoon, I think the temperatures are dropping a little bit. By the time we hit Sunday, it's a much different day. We are quite a bit cooler. We're in the 60s for Colorado Springs. Thunderstorms around in the afternoon. Monday, again, we'll watch for the chance of some low clouds to start, and then we start to warm back up by the middle part of the week. Like I said, we're back into the mid-90s, and then we may see some of those fronts come in here and drop the temperatures. We'll have to see how the low-level moisture works out. I don't really trust much in the computer models with that this time of year because thunderstorms on a daily basis can start to move the low-level moisture around. Eventually, we'll see it increase, and we'll probably have a chance of storms at some point, so that's something we'll be tweaking in the extended forecast. Pueblo, hot today, not as hot tomorrow. Temperatures may be dropping a little bit in the afternoon as the front arrives. Only 72 on Sunday. And some scattered storms. We may keep the storms off to the west of town for Monday. Hot again by Tuesday and particularly into Wednesday before we take the edge off just a little bit. Could see a stray storm in Woodland Park tomorrow, but Sunday into Monday are the more active days, and then we'll watch for a chance of an isolated storm after that hot day on Wednesday when we pull the temperatures back just a little bit. Okay. We've got some questions here from some folks that I want to go over before we get you kind of set for the day. Tom is asking, he says, destructive winds possible on the eastern plains? Yeah, we'll go back to that severe weather chance that we talked about earlier and what I said I thought was the greatest risk today. Some downburst winds with some thunderstorms here that could be around 70 miles per hour. And you'll see why. Thunderstorms developing here as we head through the afternoon, Tom. They kind of roll off to the east. I think it's mainly from Trinidad toward Lamar and off to the southeast of there. To the northwest, I just think our chances of storms are pretty low. And that's where things will kind of roll here. For Highway 50, he's asking specifically about Sunday's going to be your best chance to get some storms. And Tiffany's like, are we stuck with this wind again next week? It just keeps hanging around. I do think we'll have a couple days here where we have some downslope wind in that northwest flow that I talked about, Tiffany. So that is not good news. I know that it's not something you want, but unfortunately, sometimes I have to be the bearer of bad news. That is just the job. All right, crew, it is 6:51. That is it for me this morning. I hope you have a great Friday. I hope you have some fun plans for the weekend. We'll be around here this afternoon, keeping our eye on the storms in the southeast corner of the state, and we'll be here for Sunday as well with live coverage as necessary. So this allows me to tell you, if you don't have the Peaks to Plains weather app yet, you should turn it on, turn your location on. I'm going to take a minute this morning, show you how to do that. Let me get my phone fired up here into the system so that I can show you how to make sure your location is turned on. I'll show you a couple of other things as well. So if I show you my phone here, and of course I've got my Peaks to Plains weather app right on the home page. Here's what my phone looks like, and here's what you should do. When you go into the Peaks to Plains weather app and you go into the top right-hand corner where the settings are, that is where you can control your location. So I just hit the menu there in the top right-hand corner, and if you go to location, you see all of the different places. Now, these are all of the different places that I have looked at by using the location up in the top menu there. But if I hit the follow me just below that, it follows me around as I move through the day. So if a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning, a watch or something like that is issued, we'll give you a little digital shoulder tap and let you know. And if we have some live coverage for your area or an update on kind of a smaller scale, we can push that to you through the app. The other thing I want to let you know while I'm doing this is if you go into the upper right-hand corner, in the settings menu there is also where you can do some settings about the audio alerts that we have. So every now and then we'll do a forecast alert where you might hear me say, hey, this is Matt Meister, have a Peaks to Plains weather update for you. Also in there, if you go to the weather notification types right in the middle, you can decide which type of alerts you want the audio to come with. If you don't want it for maybe a heavy rain update or a lightning update, you can turn that off. So if I wanted to still be notified about lightning, but I don't want the sound to come with it, I can turn that off there. If I don't want the notification sounds at all, I can turn that off all the way up here, or I can select here with, okay, lightning. I don't want it to announce. You have customizability here in the Peaks to Plains weather app. Even when you go into the weather map settings, you can set like, hey, I want it to show me radar and lightning and the storm attributes. You can save all of that. You can have different options so you can quickly go to the model data. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff here in the app, and obviously our model data today, there's not a lot going on, but I can switch from the next 24 hours of model data to what's happening right now, to the satellite and radar. This is customizable. It's just detailed weather at your fingertips when you need it. And of course, you have Mary and I's forecast in there as well. So get in there, play around with the Peaks to Plains weather app. It is a very, very useful tool. We've worked really, really hard of it. We are very, very proud of it, and hope you are finding opportunity to use it as well. All right, crew, 5 minutes ahead of 7 o'clock. Have a good day.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.